back again. I'm back. I'm a different guy. So, following on from the no edit, I took that one this morning before I go to work. So I'm continuing the no edits, and I don't know whether you realise. I think the last thing I said was I can't do this because it was really early in the morning. I had to leave for work, and I felt a bit under tension. And one of the things I wanted to call this episode was play your own game. Play your own game, not one else's. Only play your own game, run your own game, your own rules, and just stick to that. Stick to what you're good. And it's funny because I don't know if I said in an earlier one, but I'm an ex-sulker. So I used to be a really bad sulker. And why I used to be a sulker was that I would have boundaries that I never gave anyone. And when they went over them, I'd sulk with them. Thing was, I never ever told them what the boundaries were. So this morning's come from, I felt really tension, like I'd been out for my walk and run and I'd done my cold shower, but I still felt tension because sometimes, like when I've given some of my I've got this friend and his life's a bit different than mine, so our relationship that we have is based on, mine's more flexible than his. So, like I sort of told him what my boundaries were, and there's only been two things, and one of them he's really not bothered about. And the other one is, I've told them a couple of times now, and they're not quite listening. And when that happens, I feel, what's the word I would use? I feel like tension inside me. I recommended a book here. I base a lot of my coaching on the chimp paradox with Professor Steve Peters. And my chimp, it was active. And so I couldn't control it. But the good thing is why I've used this as an example, because I couldn't control it in the moment, but what I did was I actually went to work, and at the minute, I'm going to lead on to the second point in a minute, but I went to work and it took me an hour of the drive, and I reframed, and I got to work because I'm doing some teaching at the minute. I got there and I still felt a bit tension. I had to go, come on, you have to click it. And at some point, that's what work can do, that can make you sort of switch off from currently where you are, and you have to go into another mindset because you've got work to be done. And that was really good. And as soon as I went to it, so it kind of, boundaries are really important, and that's the thing with people, that if you keep saying them and they still don't respect them and live to them, and that there's nothing you can do about that. But if that's how it's always going to go, you're always going to feel a little bit tension and whatnot, and you make your own decisions on the relationships you have and that with that. Making my own decision was, funnily enough, I've gone back to do some teaching. Because one of the reasons is I'm obsessed by mindset. I've shown you now right there in this no edit thing that no one's like, I think my mindset is unbelievable, but I'm also not the best and I fail a lot. But what I want to show through this podcast is show my failings when they happen, that they're not failings forever. They're just a temporary moment in time. This morning's didn't last long and I didn't feel really bad. I just couldn't really record this. And the other thing I'm getting is my son is asleep in the room that's next to me, and I thought, because I just didn't feel quite right this morning, I didn't want him I didn't want him to hear me not in my total flowing voice of energy and uplifting. And that was an interest. I'd not thought about that. So but I've chosen to do some teaching because I want to teach mindset to the masses, and the money's terrible, and the reason why I went back to it is because I'd be always chasing the dollar in things, and I found that I wasn't really liking some of the things that I did. I loved doing certain parts of delivering it, but I didn't like looking for the work, the business development. So I've gone back to teaching because it's there. The money's a lot less. But the reason why I did it is because I remember I thought to myself, when's the most happy I've been at work? And I haven't taught for a long time. And I thought, I used to like teaching. And I thought, has it changed? And you know what? I love it. I'm absolutely loving it. And today I got in there was no work. So I delivered my mindset presentation that I've been delivering to corporate. And I thought, I don't know how this is going to go down. And it was pretty amazing. It went down better than I could ever imagine. And I actually feel like I made a big impression. And it's the kind of thing, if you can deliver what mindset is, just a way of thinking. Like my way of thinking this morning was out. That was just this morning. Doesn't mean it's going to be like that forever. I've got the power to change my mood and change the way that my thought process is. And I did that. And I'm here now showing up, and this is me. And I'm not going to edit it out, because the idea of this podcast for me is that when I show you who I can be when I've not got it right, you can understand that it's all right for you to as well. I'm not making excuses for where you sometimes are. But when we are not our mood is a passing moment through time, and just like we are. And I had an amazing day. It was fantastic. I'm just about to go and do some exercise. I'm actually going to help a client who's just contacted me. I love that. It's been great. And so let you see my flaws, so you can hopefully see that, I'm just a real human being like you, and we all have them, and here's mine, full up, full show. I know one of mine is like, I personally, I'm a bit of a man of routine, and I like to know where I'm at. I didn't think I was, but I do, and if I don't, it makes me feel a bit tension, and yeah, I don't know if tension's a word, but I can't edit it out, so we're going to go with it. So just imagine it is. So I made the right choice with work, and you might be in your work, if you're not really enjoying it, you've only got one short life. And this very short life, you can't buy happiness, and you can't buy love, and you can't buy things. Like with my friend, I love my friend. But if they don't want to love me back with the little things that I ask, then maybe our friendship won't last forever. And that's sad and horrible. But you've got to be stick to who you are. And in the job wise, I've really stuck to who I am, because I've gone back there, and it just feels like I was meant to do what I'm doing at the minute, and it's all part of a master plan, and it makes me feel pretty special. So I had, here's an interesting thing. I YouTube, so let's say my name again. It's Christian Hoyle. And I made a video about a year ago, and I went to Glasgow, and I decided I'm going to go out, and I'm going to work with the homeless people, and I'm going to get a homeless person. I'm going to take them out for the day. I'm going to pay them, and I'm going to let them to film. So it wasn't then awkward, because they're doing the filming. So I met someone who's called Paul, who's phenomenal. The video's really worth watching. It was probably one of the best things I ever did. I spent the day with Paul. I've continued with it afterwards. I've paid him for the video since it. I'm in contact with him quite regular. He's made it off the streets. He's off all drugs. He's an incredible example of success. And I got this really negative comment on the video that basically said that I had crocodile tears. What was I saying? What was your point? What did you get to? And for once, I'm saying this because I want you to know you're going to get comments that are made about you. Like in that video, it's probably the best video I've ever done. And it was really me, and it was my emotions. I had a very emotional time at the time, and it was tough for me. I'm telling you about this because someone's always going to make a negative comment about you. And you've always got to look, is it them or is it me? And most of the time, it's them. But on this instance, when I read that, it actually inspired me to do more videos. So when they were telling me I was rubbish, I decided I'm not, and I decided that I'm going to make more. I think I've only got 1 minute to go in the 10 minutes maximum, so I'm going to finish on this. It was quite interesting. For some reason, I wasn't in the mood today, and I was on my walk. I thought, what am I going to talk about? So I wrote some things, and I saw this quote, and I don't know, I don't know whether the quote was for me, because it sometimes often it is, but the quote was, "You're braver than you believe, and stronger than you seem, and smarter than you think." You make up your own mind about that. My name's Christian Hoyle. I am a teacher, a coach, an entrepreneur, a parent, a friend. And for you, I hope I've been a good listen by my honesty about what life really can be about. And if you want to get hold of me, it's mindsetmentor.co.uk. You'll get me from that. Have an amazing time. I hope you hear this and you get from it. If you went past the first 37 seconds, well done, because they were terrible. This is the real me. But sometimes we don't show up as us, because we've got emotions that run through us. They don't control us. We're not defined by them. We're the person who comes through it. Thanks so much for listening. Have an amazing day.